As we begin 2025, we are still experiencing a cryptocurrency bull market, which I predicted would happen with my November 2024 update. With any stocks and crypto which have risen excessively high during this period, I've been busy trimming my exposure and taking large profits, the most profits I've ever made. With these profits, I've been buying the dips in AI stock prices, ready for the AI bull market to continue into the end of 2025. Welcome to my channel, where you can watch my AI stocks, cryptocurrency, wealth building investment strategies, and how I use these to beat inflation. At the end of the video, I'll give my thoughts on how I intend to take advantage of any investment opportunities this month. The S&P 500 index ended 2024 just below 5,900, from starting the year at 4,750, which is another amazing gain for investors willing to take the risk and not be left on the sidelines, as the market is still in a bull market, and it is essential to keep maintaining exposure despite all the fear from financial media companies. Even though the S&P 500 index experienced large gains over 2024, this is nothing to the gains key AI stocks have experienced. This is why I do not invest in an index tracker fund, as they miss golden opportunities to accumulate great stocks at bargain prices. My primary focus is accumulating great AI stocks during any corrections, and later in the video I'll show you which AI stocks I've been able to purchase during December 2024. Some of these AI stocks have experienced bad news, which is great for me, as it means I get to buy them at discount prices even in a bull market, using my unique take on dollar cost averaging strategy to accumulate positions. By using my buy targets and the company earnings potential as a guide to which AI stock looks like great value, it's given me an opportunity to purchase great AI stocks such as Nvidia for as little as $92. This is why I do not read or watch any financial media press or TV channels, as they always advise the incorrect strategy for the financial markets. Their primary focus is to sell fear and panic, so to maximize their own exposure and profits. This sentiment indicator shows that the latest correction has made stocks cheap going into 2025. There is no fear of missing out, which suggests will be a lot of shorting currently happening. So the stocks look primed for a strong rally during January that will catch many investors off guard. We're still in a bull market and the risks are still to the upside, which I expect this bull market to continue during 2025. So deep drops in AI stock prices should be temporary, as they eventually look to target new bull market highs. My view for 2025 is the inauguration of a new US president will drive the S&P 500 index higher into February, before a correction into March-April, removing most of the gains of 2025, which will have people believe that the bull market is over. However, I think then it will move higher towards August-September to around 7,000 points, before correcting again into October-November. This should lead to a final surge above 7,100 to complete the year 2025. I'm expecting all the fear-mongering during the corrections to say that the recession is imminent, but I believe 100% that there won't be a recession during 2025. I'm more concerned about 2026 and 2027, as these years are looking highly likely for a recession. Closer to the end of 2025, I should know more about what the trend and the recession expectations will be for 2026. With the Federal Reserve beginning to cut interest rates, people are starting to believe they will drop to levels last seen during the pandemic. This, I believe, won't happen. Those rates were emergency levels that I do not think we will see for a while. Yes, interest rates will decrease over the next 2 years, but I still expect them to be in the range of 3 to 6%. For AI stock investments, this means investing in AI stock companies with strong cash flows and low debt. My AI stock portfolio concentrates on the major AI companies. As for the smaller companies, the days of cheap, easy money are over, and I think they're going to struggle against the bigger companies. The time for taking risks on these smaller AI companies are over for the moment. During the last couple of months, the surge in cryptocurrency prices had enabled me to cash out some great positions and build my cash percentage of my portfolio to a high of 24%. Thus, I've been using this additional cash to increase my exposure to great AI stocks using my buy targets and by using my unique take on dollar cost averaging, as cryptocurrency is nothing more than a gamble. Where the real money can be made is with great AI stocks. I've also sold completely out of MicroStrategy, which is a company that holds a lot of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Thus, when Bitcoin goes up, so does the stock price for this company. Having purchased this stock for $50 back in January 2024 and selling out at $350 and $400, the company is looking to print a huge increase in shares to be able to purchase more Bitcoin. But all this will do is push the price of Bitcoin higher and drop the price of MicroStrategy stock. The market is not going to like the printing of all these shares and put downward pressure on the stock price. Also, as the price of Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy will be able to purchase less Bitcoin than they had initially planned. What is their aim? To try and prevent future Bitcoin bear markets. This is why the stock price will discount a bear market and investors will not understand why Bitcoin surges to an all-time high while MicroStrategy drops. Though this does mean during the next Bitcoin bear market, MicroStrategy will start to discount a higher Bitcoin future price, which means its stock market price will move ahead of the Bitcoin price. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is purely what I intend to do. Early 2024, AI stocks broke out to a trade to overvalued levels, which is since the summer of 2024, they've entered a period of consolidation as they've unwound their overvalued states before the next breakout higher. As I'm aware of this behavior, I tend to trim the AI stocks that become overvalued, for there is only two ways a stock valuation can improve. The stock price falls, or earnings play catch up while the stock price consolidates in a trading range. Next, I'll give a brief comment on why I've continued to invest in these following AI stocks. After this, I'll show you my buy targets for these AI stocks, what my average price paid for, and my asset exposure. Before I intend to make any asset purchase, I determine firstly how much risk or exposure I wish to have. This aids my unique take on dollar cost averaging by having an investment price target for each stock I wish to accumulate into. To learn more about this, watch this video about wealth building dollar cost averaging. My investment portfolio stands at 88% invested with 12% left in cash, ready for any investment opportunities. The best stock in my portfolio, Nvidia, is AI. It's rare for it to drop to give any opportunity to buy. I've been lucky to have opportunities last year to purchase some more stock at discount prices from its all-time high. Once during August, then again in September, and then some more during December. As I mentioned in my October and November update, I expect Nvidia to reach over $240 by the end of 2025. Therefore, I'll be very careful of over-trimming Nvidia, as this stock does not give many corrections to build a great position in. Since September 2024, Google has begun to trend higher, from $150 to a high of $202, an increase of 33% within 4 months. Its price to earnings looks cheap against other AI stocks. Would I buy at this price? No. Looking to accumulate more around $160 if possible. Over 2024, the financial media have been talking down Google, which has affected the share price as investors have been fearful of purchasing the stock. This has now started to change with announcements in its quantum AI developments, giving a quantum leap in error correction, which is an important milestone on the road to quantum AI before the end of this decade. It's a steady AI stock, not volatile like AMD or Nvidia. Keep on trending higher is the message from Google. AMD is in a race with Nvidia and Intel to release new AI chips to power AI end-user computers. However, AMD is not superior to Nvidia. The only reason to buy AMD processors is because they're a lot better than Intel's. Whereas AMD's earnings have been good, they were not good enough to justify the rally during the summer of 2024 to over $220, which I took advantage of by trimming down my investment. During December, AMD has dropped to below my buy target of $126, and I've been using my unique take on dollar cost averaging to build a bigger position. AMD seems to be in a trading range between $120 and $180. Any correction towards $120 is giving me an opportunity to load up on AMD stock, and I'm now getting those opportunities in AMD. Microsoft has still been the hardest to accumulate into. It doesn't seem to give much of a buying opportunity. My last purchase was back in 2023 for an average price of $290. This is another stock that currently looks like to be in a trading range. Thus I'll look to accumulate more when the stock reaches to the bottom of this range. The stock price has dropped since its all-time high of $468, which I believe by the end of 2025 it will surpass this. Since November 2022, Meta has had a spectacular bull run and refuses to drop despite being overextended. The reason for this can be seen in its high earnings growth. It's going to take a lot more than a war in the Middle East to knock this stock lower. Every time Meta looks like it's going to drop, it reverts higher, above $600. Thus one of my best AI stocks that I've invested in. I've trimmed my AI stock after buying large purchases during the drop in November 2022. And look to accumulate a gain on any signs of weakness, though its earnings growth is still great, so this opportunity might not arise for a while. During the summer 2024, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing rocketed higher to $189, which I was able to trim my investment. I was then fortunate to accumulate back into the stock during August 2024 for an average price of $150, before it had excellent earnings during October 2024, which I took full advantage of by trimming at $211 for a 33% profit within a couple of months. You don't get that kind of return invested in index-only funds. AI chip demand is still strong and accelerating, so exposure to the semiconductor companies like this is key to my investment strategy. This company has excellent earnings, and future growth should mean any drop in stock price towards my buy target will be temporary. I accumulated this stock all throughout 2023 for under $100 and then trimmed heavily as it reached an all-time high of $230 over the summer 2024. I've been repurchasing the stock during August and November as it hit $160 and below. It is looking fair priced now, and its earnings growth suggests the correction in this stock will be temporary. I'm using any dip below $162 and as an opportunity to accumulate more. Wow, what can I say about Tesla? Since the US election has rose more than 70%, after purchases in this AI stock throughout the year, with some purchases as low as $141, I've trimmed at $285, $330, $400 and $460. I do think that the stock is extremely overvalued and will correct down sharply to below $250, probably end up below $200, which will give me an opportunity to start accumulating again. My long-term view is still that I expect Tesla stocks to over the next 10 years to increase at least 10 times from that initial purchase price. Tesla is high-risk AI stock which can be volatile. This, timed correctly, can give an opportunity to build a bigger position. This year, ASML has dropped from its all-time high of $1,100 down to a low of $645. I do find this a great AI stock to accumulate and then trim, building a bigger position each time. In my October market update, I thought that there would be more chance of a downside surprise to this stock to present some buying opportunities, and I've got this. Since its earnings report in October, the stock price has dropped below my buy target, and I'm using my unique take on dollar cost averaging to build a position within this stock, as I believe by the end of 2025 it will trend to an all-time high. It has begun 2025 strongly, surging above $750, before I'm expecting a good reaction to the earnings report at the end of January. Over the course of 2024, Micron soared to $156, and then the recent correction taking it down to below $90. This stock is volatile, in which I look to capitalize on. Its share price did recover but as I predicted in my November update, it has given opportunities to accumulate below $90, which I've taken full advantage of to increase my exposure. Micron's earnings have been affected by the AI chip demand, therefore the stock price should move higher, maybe not above $150 anytime soon, though the earnings growth does look good for 2025. This table shows my buy target for each AI stock, what my current average purchase price has been for the stock, and what my current exposure is of the asset. It's a balancing act between having exposure and overpaying for an AI stock. The easiest thing to do would be just invest and forget. I can't do that for stocks such as AMD. It's too volatile not to try and capitalize on this, which is why I buy in and out of AMD depending on what the stock price does, whilst building a core position, as I believe, regardless of what stock prices do, the AI megatrend is going to run for decades. During November 2024, Bitcoin finally ended its over 6-month consolidation range and broke higher to all-time highs. People that I've spoken to have talked themselves into selling their Bitcoin as they believed the trend was reversing and Bitcoin would drop to $52,000 or even lower. Another reason why you need to have focus when building wealth. Otherwise you'll get distracted by this talk and sell your positions before the big moves happen. My October-November chart view of Bitcoin was to trend towards 90k, which it achieved this to around $99,000. I expected it to correct towards $75,000, which is currently dropped to support level of $92,000. I believe we'll get a fresh Bitcoin high during January, another high during April, and then a final high towards the end of 2025. However, I still believe that cryptocurrency is nothing more than a gamble, so my strategy will be to sell 70% during the high of January, which I'm expecting Bitcoin to reach over $120,000, and wait and see what April brings. This will enable me to be more focused as most of the profits will be banked, and if Bitcoin moves towards $150,000 or $200,000, I'll still have some Bitcoin that I bought back in the end of 2023 for the average price of $37,000. With the Bitcoin bull market coming into its final year, I'm already preparing myself for the next cryptocurrency bear market. The strategy is still in progress, but I plan to do the following. And lastly, do not forget we're in a bull market that at least has another year to run, which means when AI stocks fall, it's time to get greedy, not fearful. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more tips on how I use AI stocks and cryptocurrency to build my wealth and beat inflation. Until next time, take care.